Prophet Prophet Job, Ayub. Job's family history. Ibn Ishaq stated that he was a man of Rum. Rum stands for Rum. His name was Job. Job. Someone else said he was Job. There have also been other statements on his lineage that his mother was a daughter of Lot. It was said also that his father was one who believed in Abraham. When he was cast into the fire, the first opinion is the most plausible, because he was a descendant of Abraham's offspring. As Allah Almighty declared that that was our proof, which we gave Abraham against his people. We raised whom we will in degrees. Certainly your Lord is all wise, all knowing. And we bestowed upon him Isaac and Jacob. Each of them we guided, and before him we guided Noah, and among his progeny David, Solomon, Job, Joseph, Moses, and Aaron. Thus do we reward the good doers. Allah's praises of Job. Allah the Almighty praises his worshipper Job in his glorious Quran. Truly we found him patient. How excellent a slave! Verily he was ever oft returning in repentance to us. Job was repentant, remembering Allah with thankfulness, patience, and steadfastness. This was the cause of his rescue and the secret of Allah's praising him. A group of angels were discussing Allah's other human creatures, how those who were humble earned Allah's pleasure, while those who were arrogant incurred his displeasure. One of the angels remarked, "The best creation on earth today is Job, a man of noble character, who displays great patience and always remembers his generous Lord. He is an excellent model for the worshippers of Allah. In return, his Lord has blessed him with a long life and plenty of servants, as well as the needy and the poor share in his good fortune. He feeds and clothes the poor and buys slaves to set them free. He makes those who receive his charity feel as if they are favouring him, so kind and gentle is he." Iblis' jealousy of Job. Iblis, overhearing all of this, became annoyed. He planned to tempt Job to corruption and disbelief. So he hastened to him. He tried to distract Job from his prayers by worshipping him about the good things in life, but Job was a true believer and would not let evil thoughts tempt him. Thus disturbed Iblis even more. Thus he began to hate Job even more. Iblis destroys Job's wealth. Iblis complained to Allah about Job. He said that although he was continuously glorifying Allah, he was not doing so out of his sincerity, but to satisfy Allah, so that his wealth should not be taken away. It was all a show, all out of greed. If you remove his wealth, then you will find that his tongue will no longer mention your name, and his praying will stop. Allah told Iblis that Job was one of his most sincere devotees. He did not worship him because of the favors. His worship stemmed from his heart and had nothing to do with material things. But to prove to Iblis the depth of Job's sincerity and patience, Allah allowed him to do whatever he and his helpers wished with Job's wealth. Iblis was very happy. He gathered his helpers and set about destroying Job's cattle, servants, and farms until he was left with no possessions. Rubbing his hands in glee, Iblis appeared before Job in the guise of a wise old man and said to him, "All your wealth is lost. Some people say that it is because you gave too much charity and that you are wasting your time and your continuous praise to Allah. Others say that Allah has brought this upon you in order to please your enemies. If Allah had the capacity to prevent harm, then He would have protected your wealth." True to his belief, Job replied, "What Allah has taken away from me belongs to Him. I was only its trustee for a while. He gives to whom He wills and withholds from whom He wills." With these words, Job again prostrated to his Lord. Iblis destroys Job's children. When Iblis saw this, he felt frustrated, so he again addressed Allah. "I have stripped Job of all his possessions, but he still remains grateful to you. However, he is only hiding his disappointment, for he places great store by his many children. The real test of a parent is through his children. You will see how Job will reject you." Allah granted Iblis authority, but warned him that it would not reduce Job's faith in his Lord, nor his patience. Iblis again gathered his helpers and set about his evil deeds. He shook the fountain of the house in which Job's children were living and sent the building crashing, killing all of them. Then he went to Job disguised as a man who had come to sympathize with him. In a comforting tone, he said to Job, "The circumstances under which your children died were sad. Surely your Lord is not rewarding you properly for all your prayers." Having said this, Iblis waited anxiously, hoping Job was now ready to reject Allah. But again Job disappointed him by replying, "Allah sometimes gives and sometimes takes. He is sometimes pleased and sometimes displeased with our deeds. Whether a thing is beneficial or harmful to me, I will remain firm in my belief and remain thankful to my Creator." Then Job prostrated to his Lord. At this, Iblis was extremely vexed. Iblis destroys Job's health. Iblis called on Allah, "O my Lord, Job's wealth is gone. His children are dead and he is still healthy in body. And as long as he enjoys good health, he will continue to worship you in the hope of regaining his wealth, and producing more children. Grant me authority over his body so that I may weaken it. He will surely neglect worshipping you and will thus become disobedient." Allah wanted to teach Iblis a lesson that Job was a devoted servant of his Lord, so he granted Iblis his third request, but placed a condition: "I give you authority over his body, but not over his soul, intellect, or heart, for in these places reside the knowledge of me and my religion." Armed with this new authority, Iblis began to take revenge on Job's body and filled it with disease until it was reduced to mere skin and bone, and he suffered severe pain. But through all the suffering, Job remained strong in his faith, patiently bearing all the hardships without complaining. Allah's righteous servant did not despair or turn to others for help, but remained hopeful of Allah's mercy. Even close relatives and friends deserted him. Only his kind, loving wife stayed with him. In his hour of need, she showered her kindness on him and cared for him. She remained his sole companion and comforter through the many years of suffering. Job's life summary. Ibn Asakar narrated, "Job was a man having much wealth of all kinds, beasts, slaves, sheep, vast lands of Haran, and many children. All those favors were taken from him, and he was physically afflicted as well. Never a single organ was sound except his heart and tongue. with both of which he glorified Allah the Almighty. All the time, day and night, his disease lasted for a long time until his visitors felt disgusted with him. His friends kept away from him, and people abstained from visiting him. No one felt sympathy for him except his wife. She took good care of him, knowing his former charity and pity for her. Job's prayer for mercy. Therefore Iblis became desperate. He consulted his helpers, but they could not advise him. They asked, "How is it that your cleverness cannot work against Job? Yet you succeeded in misleading Adam, the father of man, out of paradise." Out of paradise, Iblis went to Job's wife in the form of a man. A form of a man. "Where is your husband?" he asked her. She pointed to an almost lifeless form crumbled on the bed and said, There he is, suspended between life and death." Iblis reminded her of the days when Job had good health, wealth, and children. Suddenly, the painful memory of years of hardship overcame her, and she burst into tears. She said to Job, "How long are you going to bear this torture from your Lord? Are we to remain without wealth, children, or friends forever? Why don't you call upon Allah to remove this suffering?" Job sighed and in a soft voice replied, "Iblis must have worshipped to you and made you dissatisfied. Tell me, how long did I enjoy good health and riches?" She replied, 80 years. Then Job replied, "How long am I suffering like this?" She said, 7 years.